What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Real Reds Talk, a fan channel that represents the most genuine, authentic people. And the main objective of the show today is we're going to discuss Jadon Sancho's deal to Borussia Dortmund. Florian Plettenberg basically confirming it's a done deal. Today, there's bits of paperwork to be finalised. But interestingly enough, I want to discuss the wages that are involved in that, Jadon Sancho's future, Alessandro rushing back to play for Tottenham, apparently. I want to get the lads' thoughts on that. Anthony Martial, what the fuck's going on with his situation? I think Sam mentioned it in the chat that just the way the transfer window works, one massive story saying on the verge of moving, and then the next is and then there's bits about polystyrene and a few other kind of things as well. So just a disclaimer, I put this in here for you, Chiver. These stories are rumours, they're not true. So we're not following them, we're not saying that, it's going to happen, we're just literally discussing them. So I'm going to put that disclaimer in there. Before Chivy asked me, what journalist tweeted that? And I'd be like, is this guy? And he'd be like, yeah, I'm not having that. So approach with caution, of course.
Even the Sancho one.
Oh, no, the Sancho one, that's from Florian Plettenberg and Chris Wheeler. That's bang on. But I mean, the Martial one's a little bit,
right,
I don't know. We'll talk about that anyway.
It's a bunch of Turkish journalists I've never heard of, so I can't validate their credentials.
And even one of them, the MUFC MPB put on, usually they tag him. He's put the name, but you can't click on the handle. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on there, but it is silly season. We're in the transfer window. These things are going to happen, right? So, Jadon Sancho to Dortmund, pretty much done. Apparently, Manchester United will contribute a third of the cost of Sancho's £290,000 a week salary. So basically, we're going to pay $100,000 a week towards his wages while he's on loan over there. A large majority of Jadon Sancho's wages will be covered by Borussia Dortmund, and additional payments are built into the deal based on his appearances and the Germans qualifying for the Champions League, because of course they're trying to push into that spot. When you look at this move, Chiver, I mean, we've spoken about Sancho so many fucking times. It's almost covering old ground, but do you believe this move could turn permanent, or do you think it will swing the other way, whereas he'll bide his time, he'll get back into form, and maybe come back, and Ten Hag will go before him? Which one do you think is more likely to happen?
That's a tough one, because we really don't know what the situation with Ten Hag is. Also, if I'm not mistaken, there's no sort of buyback clause. Sorry, there's no loan clause.
Yeah.
It's just a loan for him to then come back. Now, that could mean two things. That could mean we want to be able to, we're hoping that he plays really well, comes back, and then we can sell him. Or we're going to reintegrate him back into the squad. Now, and if the manager is still here and they haven't settled their differences, then we don't know, what that could be. Maybe it just gives us the option. It just gives us flexibility to have him to do what we need to do when he comes back. So there's no, I don't know. It depends on how this manager, he has the rest of the season to fight for his job, to keep his job in. So everything with Sancho just depends on the manager. I think his future hinges on Erik ten Hag's future, to be honest, because it doesn't look like they would settle their differences anytime soon. And I think that's what might happen. Me personally, I'm happy that we've got to this point now, because it's the best situation for everyone involved. Best situation for Jadon, for us, for Borussia Dortmund, and at least I thought we'd pay like half. We're paying a third, so it's
a slight step down from what we usually do, in it.
Exactly. So we've negotiated quite well, and I'm quite impressed with that as well. And they seem desperate to have him. Hopefully he plays really well, and then we have the choice at the end of the season to do what we need to do. But me personally, you guys always have known where I've stood on this whole Sancho situation. Like I don't see anything wrong in a player defending himself. Like, he's been attacked. His professionalism has been called into question publicly, and he's defended himself. So I'm happy with the stance they've taken. If the club wants to, part ways with him, that's fine. He can go. But I think you should always, defend yourself publicly if your professionalism has been called into question.
Sam, does it not raise more questions if he goes there and starts playing really well again?
It could do. I mean, if you look at just a purely surface level, then sure. But we know so many players in the German league who look like absolute stars, and then they come to the Prem, don't make it. Like, we've bought a load of them. Kagawa, like Mkhitaryan, just to name two off the top of my head. And obviously, there's ones that come and absolute smash it, like Haaland. So, like,
Gundogan as well.
Gundogan. So, like, it is what it is. Like, some people can't handle the transition from one league to the other. We've seen it with Antony in the Dutch league. Looked like a pretty exciting player because he had the space. Premier League, you don't get that sort of space, and he's looked awful. So I know Chivy has his sort of feelings towards players in the Italian league. He'd rather us not buy players in the Italian league because don't really make it here either. So it could just be that's the league he suits and that's the league he's good in. He's playing for the manager who was the caretaker manager just before we bought him. I believe when we were buying him, they sacked their manager, and I can't remember the guy's name. Terzin?
Was it?
Yeah, but the caretaker guy who's now the actual manager is like
I rate him as well. Eden.
A lot of people rate him.
So, I can't remember his name.
Yeah, but I rate him. He was at West. He was someone's assistant at West Ham at some point.
Yeah.
Like, he was in the Prem.
Yeah. He got the best out of Sancho just before we got him, and he managed to sort of get him playing and stuff like that. And he's now the manager at Dortmund, so that, again, that's another factor that's probably prompting Jadon to want to go there. He knows the guy, he's worked with him, he knows the club, he knows the league. So it could well absolutely smash it, and it only benefits everybody. It benefits United, benefits him, and it benefits anybody who's looking to buy him. So it's all good things. Like, nobody's a loser here. I don't think it's a reflection on Ten Hag's coaching. I think if multiple players did that, then you'd have to worry. You'd have to start to worry then. But I think if one player like Fergie got Juan Sebastian Veron and he was one of the best midfielders in the world, came to United, didn't really cut it, man. Didn't do it. And it happens to so many managers, so I wouldn't sort of take it too sort of matter-of-fact ways, but like, it's all positive from my perspective. Like, it's a good thing.
Yeah, it's probably the best you're going to get, and the best of a bad situation. And considering he's been sat on the sidelines for so long, I mean, the last game he played, has he played an actual game this season for us?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
He has.
August 20.
Spurs?
Something.
Did he play against Spurs, or was the game before that? Because we played Wolves, Spurs. Can't remember who else was after that. Forest as well, but I can't remember him playing in any of them games. That's why I'm like.
He did play in August. I remember he did play in August, but I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, because we was all discussing him on me like pre-season. Looked really, really good. Looked sharp. He was playing him, sometimes.
Yeah, he was one of our better performances. Performance.
Which wasn't hard, to be fair, because the majority were pretty fucking shit, weren't they? But yeah, it's a strange one with Jadon. I hope he revitalises his career. I have a feeling that he's probably going to go do well for Dortmund, because Dortmund has just lost that kind of star quality. They also lost Bellingham, they lost Haaland like the year before. So to bring him back, he will get treated like a star and he will get game time. And the pressure isn't as much, I would say, as Manchester United. So I do think he'll recapture that form, and I do think United may get a fee for him, but then I just don't know where he goes after that. I don't know how you sort the wage kind of situation out. I don't know how they're going to manage it, to be honest. But I suppose that's a headache for Ineos to kind of deal with. Focusing a little bit more on players coming back rather than players leaving. Sandro Martinez is said to be, so from Luckhurst, who we all love, he put it out there, he's targeting the fifth round. Then Chris Wheeler comes out and says he's said to be targeting the Tottenham Hotspur clash at Old Trafford as soon as possible because he's getting irritable and he wants to kind of, I don't know if you want to rush back, but that is the situation. So how do you feel about this, Chivy? Because you do not want to rush a player back like that, do you? Because we saw what happened last time with this metatarsal. He's so important for the rest of the season, isn't it?
Yeah. We definitely don't want to rush him back. And I know if there's anything I know about Ten Hag is, especially with players coming back, he's been a little bit more cautious recently. And I think he would like to get them back in full fitness before he can then bring them back into the squad. Also, there's lots of times we've seen this before. Like, I remember Ahmad's been training for ages, and I've seen a few reports before then saying, "Oh yeah, Ahmad might be back."
Tell me about it, mate. Jesus.
Yeah, so there's lots of times journalists kind of come up with stuff like that, but ultimately it lies with Ten Hag and it's his decision. I don't think he'll rush him back. I'd be surprised if he did. Part of me will be a bit happy because obviously we want to see Lisandro back as quick as possible.
Yeah.
But then Tottenham are without a few players, so I think we can risk it.
Who are they without? I know we're going to do a preview for it, but Son's not there, is there? I heard
Yeah,
he's
Van de Ven,
Madison as well.
Yeah, Madison's out, Son's out. Is Kulu back? I don't think Kulusevski is back. Is he back?
I'm not sure.
I think he might be back, and then Sar's gone, hasn't he?
Basuma as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
So,
isn't the Indogi banned as well?
Red card.
I'm sure.
Yeah, you might be right.
I might be wrong.
I'll double check that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, so there's quite a few players missing, so we don't have to rush. I don't think it's crucial that we bring him back. I wouldn't mind seeing him on the bench, but but then again, we don't have Shaw, we don't have Lindelof, so I won't be surprised if he wants to bring
or Maguire or Mount or Casemiro.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying defensively.
A list. We've both got a list. I think it's fair to say. We're gonna stick with Martinez, and we'll come back to that in a second. I'm just gonna read a couple of comments out. Jay McGregor's in the chat. Big up to yourself, saying, "Evening, lads. Has there been anything with a more permanent solution rather than just a loan, which I assume is 6 months?" Not as far as I've seen. It's literally just a loan. They'll assess it in the summer. There's gonna be a lot of work done from Ineos in the summer, so I think they'll all get round the table and they'll be like, right, these are the contracts. Or they're probably already going through them now and saying, this is what we need to cut, this is who we need to sell, this is who we need to bring in, and all that kind of stuff. So it'd be interesting to see what they do. Charlie's saying, why is Onana making a circus around him? It's not looking good on him or the manager. Yeah, I saw that before. Apparently he's now going for the next game or something, for the Ivory Coast game, I think. Like, he's trying to stay at United for as long as he can and kind of put Afcon off, which is interesting considering he's had a bit of beef.
I was going to say, didn't he fall out with a manager?
No, he fell out with I think he fell out on a manager and he fell out with Etu as well. So there was a lot of beef kind of between them. So I don't think they're going to be happy about that, but it's what it is. He always wants to stay at United.
I listened to, there was a podcast on Afcon, I think it might have been The Athletic, but they were basically talking, apparently you can't retire from the Cameroon national team. Like, it's not a thing. You just stop getting selected at some point. Like, you just sort of age out. Like, you can't officially retire.
That's hilarious.
From the Cameroon national team, which is bizarre. And that's basically why he's having this beef, and he's sort of, I'm not really there, because he can't actually retire from the Cameroon national team.
You can't retire. Is it one of them? It's not the mafia, is it?
No. So it's not like an official rule, but it's like, do you know what I mean? An unsaid rule. Like you don't retire. You just stop getting selected when you
shouldn't do that. I know. And I was like, he's just one of them guys. He don't give a fuck. He's just like, nah, I'm gonna stay, mate. Don't care.
There's a lot of sort of unsaid stuff surrounding the Cameroonian national team apparently, and that's why it's all a bit weird to us lot, because obviously we don't follow Cameroon and stuff. So
yeah, very interesting. I mean, you either just go or don't. In my opinion, like, if you're gonna start increasing days and stuff, just fucking either go Afcon or don't go Afcon and stay, and just make a decision, please. Because lingering about,
he probably would have consulted his manager before any of this. Like, Ten Hag definitely would have had to, say, listen, are you going or are you staying, or
what the fuck are you doing, mate?
Yeah.
But Onana strikes me as that guy to be like, do you know what I mean? He's so blasé. He's just like, yeah, well, we'll see in it, see what happens. It's strange. Speaking of one man, we were going to stick with Alessandro Sam because he's obviously going to be important to Onana's kind of cause when we talk about playing out from the back and these kind of things. How much difference can one man make? Let's say it's just Alessandro returning for the Spurs game. How much of an impact will that have, do you think?
Are we saying he's fully fit and he's 100%?
Yeah, he comes back. He's playing like he was last season. Prior to injury.
If he's fully fit and he's ready to go, then mega important, because he is Probably our best. Next to Rafael Varane, he's probably our best defender that we have. An amazing ball playing centre back, press resistant, able to turn with his back to the opposition, receive the ball, and not be able to sort of close down or be putting in under pressure, and be able to play out for the back. Like, he's excellent at this. We saw it all last season. Anytime some attacker tried to get near him, he'd just be like, and he'd be gone. It's dead easy for him. So he's super, super important. He's also a leader in the team. Like, you see him, he got the sort of other players geared up. He celebrate when they like make a block or a sort of defensive move. He's obviously the warrior spirit within, because all the Argentinians are absolutely fucking mentally. I swear to God, they must.
Remember that after the World Cup, where he just like disappeared, and he's in a pub in Argentina somewhere.
Like, they put something in the water in Argentina because they're all mental, like all of them.
Yeah, South America, to be fair, nutcases, aren't they?
You met the famous image when he scored against Arsenal, and he's got the bandage around his fucking head.
I love that. I love that.
Like, that's what he is. Like, he's all about that. So, not only in terms of the ability of the player, but the attitude, the leadership, the spirit that he brings as well. All of that is like important to this team. And I think a lot of that sort of leadership and sort of emotion is missing from this team. A lot of the players that we've got in a minute seem to be lacking that quite a lot. Rashford's head's down. He's kind of like, most of the defense like that. Like, Varane is a leader, but he's a very stoic leader. Like, he doesn't. Yeah. He's not a sort of visible, emotional guy for the most part.
He is. You guys just don't notice it, but he is.
I don't think he's not.
He is. When you watch him on the pitch, he's always just as.
He commands
he's
a
vocal.
bit.
He's vocal, but what I mean is, like, you watch Sancho and he's screaming into people's faces, like he's like up for the fight. Whereas Varane's like, this, we need to change this. He's more.
I think he's more aggressive on the pitch. I would say, like, you see him more in one-to-one battles, kind of. Whereas Varane he kind of does his work silently, like he tackles, but he's clean. He's clean in everything he does, in my opinion, anyway.
After you guys watch United again with Varane, just watch him, and he's barking orders. He's telling people where they're supposed to be. But I get it. I think Lisandro is just a little bit more animated and more.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think it comes from. It's like Anthony has it. It's like it must be a South American thing, because a lot of players from there have it, are very animated. I think that word's probably the perfect choice. Anthony does it as well. He seems to get in, a bit of tussles with a bit of passion. Like, Richarlison fucking does it for whatever quality you want to
think. The thing is, Lisandro has the ability to back it up. Like, we talk about Scott McTominay and people like that, and they've got passion, but they lack the ability to back that up. And passion only takes you so far. Like, he's got both. He's got ability and he's got passion, and that's what you want. Like, Roy Keane, perfect example. Passion. Full of it, but also as ability as a player, absolutely phenomenal.
Rooney being a prime example of that.
It's like these sort of people you need in your team. Like, you can't just have one or the other. You can't be absolutely fantastic, but then just have no emotion or passion about the game, because people could accuse Haaland of that. He's quite robotic, and a lot of the time, but like it gets more forgiving. But then
it's like a fucking Disney princess, Haaland sometimes.
But then you've got like passion merchants like Scott McTominay. It's just like they're all about this, but on the pitch don't really deliver.
All bite, no back.
Yeah, don't have the ability. So Martinez is a perfect combination of that, and I think don't play him until he's 100%. For the love of God, please don't, because I don't need to see him. Another injury and him be out for another 3 months, and I don't need to see that. So make sure he's 100% fit.
The way our season's gone as well, you can just only imagine it. I want to ask you a quick question, Chevy. I think this is an interesting one. When he was on form last season, where would you rank him amongst the Premier League centre backs?
Martinez. Ooh. Without sounding biased.
Try no tints in the. You know what I mean?
Let's just say top 3.
Really? He'd go that high.
Lisandro.
Yeah. No, I'm not questioning it. I thought you might have gone lower. I thought, I don't know.
Top, maybe.
Who? Saliba, Lisandro. Give me top 3. Van Dijk.
Neves. Okay, so I'll go. Let's just be diplomatic here, and I'll go Saliba.
Diaz. Ruben Diaz.
Actually, are we talking about last season?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the only reason why I mentioned last season is because obviously Lissandro hasn't played this season at all, has he? So I'm saying the form that he showed last season,
Top three.
where's he ranked? Just top three,
Top
yeah?
three. This
Yeah.
is a guy who went to the World Cup and won that shit. And he wasn't just a bit part player, like he was a proper. But then let's just be diplomatic, and I'll go. The only centre backs I'll put ahead of him just for diplomacy would be
Saliba.
Ruben Neves, Saliba.
Ruben Neves.
Ruben Diaz, you mean?
Ruben Diaz, sorry.
The same
Interesting.
Neves is a midfielder.
Not
Yeah.
Ruben Neves. Yeah, the Man City guy.
Yeah.
But then you got players like Van Dijk and things like that. I think
Well, we're talking about last season, aren't we?
Van
Yeah,
Dijk didn't have
true.
a good season last season.
Van Dijk was nowhere near Lisandro Martinez last season.
Yeah. Give me your again the question.
Overall, probably we'll probably have Van Dijk in that group. But if we're talking about last season's performances, Van Dijk was not better than Lisandro Martinez.
Yeah, it was nice when it's Sam having that kind of discussion after every game, saying when we did the ratings, it was like Lissandro 7 out of 10, every game 7 out of 10.
That guy was like, apart from sorry, Sam.
It's alright. No, you go, mate. You go.
Yeah, I mean, apart from his defensive abilities, is the whole package. So the ability to scan and read the game, the ability to play out from the back, being very comfortable on the ball, and being a progressive, modern centre back. He can actually drive with the ball. If you put Martinez, to be fair, can actually play as an 8. If you were crazy.
He's done it at Ajax. He did it at Ajax.
Yeah, you can put him in the midfield and tell him to progress the ball. And this is like if the manager was like some crazy guy, but he has the ability to do that. So for me, he's the complete centre back. And there's deficiencies in other centre backs that we have, but last season's performances 100% top 3.
Good, Sam.
Yeah, no, I forgot the question. Sorry.
Top 3. Give me your top.
3.
Would you agree with that assessment?
Yeah, I wanted to go top 4 or 5, but I'm struggling to think of a centre back who I'd put above him, like above Saliba and Ruben Diaz, because John Stones played mostly in the midfield. He was fantastic, but he played mostly in the midfield. Chelsea centre backs weren't great.
I think's underrated? I think Nathan Ake for City's mega underrated.
He's a very good player.
Yeah.
I like Romero at Spurs a lot, but he's just too psychotic. Again, another South American, absolutely out of his fucking mind. I like him a lot, but he's just too many red cards for my taste. But yeah,
I think those are really good. But I mean, Nick said last season, so if I take last season's performances, I think Ake too is one that's coming up, but.
Surprised me, to be fair, because when they signed him from Bournemouth, I remember United getting linked with him, and I was like, 40 mil. I'm not sure about that, but he has been fucking really good for even Akanji for City as well has been really, really good.
That's because they're under a fantastic manager. I promise you, if Nathan Ake came to Man United.
Oh yeah, he'd be getting fucking he'd be getting more. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, Lissandro, huge miss. Can't wait to get him back. I'm gonna cling on to that scouting video for the rest of my life when I mention that. He's on the back of my shirt. I'm clinging on to it. Chivi's pulling his face. Do you know what I mean by that?
No.
So we did.
I remember the video. We was on it one way.
Yeah, so we did a video, and I think I hosted it, and I was like, right, what player would you bring from Ajax?
Oh, yeah. No.
And Nick brought Lisandro Martinez.
Player called Lisandro. Got him from Argentina. He's fucking, Good job I didn't say Anthony, innit? Because I'd be like a fucking mug.
I said fucking Anthony.
I know, I remember you saying you liked him. I don't know if you actually thinking that you was like, listen, this guy looks like the business,
I think it was between Anthony and Timber.
Didn't somebody said was it Adam who said Edson Alvarez?
Yeah, Alvarez has done all right for West Ham, to be fair. But again, it's always that adage, like, when they come to United, 90% of the time, they just plummet. Anyway, talking about players fucking plummeting. Anthony Martial. Look, this is a conversation we have to have, Chiva. I'm sorry, but it's time. We need to have it. A lot of conflicting rumours. One person saying advanced talks to sign Fenerbaçe, I think Fred's team. Another person saying that bullshit rumours basically is going to go in the summer. But his time is coming towards an end. A player we bought 9 years ago. I can't believe it's been 9 years already. A player who had a Ballon d'Or clause. A player who's shown some fucking unbelievable moments and showed some serious promise. Where has it gone wrong for Anthony Martial?
Is that for me?
Yeah, you always do that. He fucking always does that. It's the same order. Jimmy, Sam.
It's Anthony Martial, of course it's you, Jimmy.
Yeah, I've got to kick it off with you, of course.
Yeah. I mean, Martial is a tricky one. But before I go on to answer that, I think I need to clarify this, because I've said this a few times whenever we talk about Martial. Is he's not above criticism, and he's not been blameless. The reason why I stick up for him is because I feel that he's always unfairly, he receives a lot of criticism that is actually unfair, because you can actually spread, if you look at, if there's context to a lot of these things, but then he's not the most likable guy anyway. He's a quiet guy. He looks like he doesn't like to be around people. So it's easy to just, just label him the bad guy. A lot of times he comes up when he hasn't played for weeks. He's always Martial. You hear his name, and that's what pisses me off. Anyway, where has it gone wrong? We signed him, and he was Louis van Gaal's top striker. Well, that was his number one striker. And every time, I told you guys this, every time we've relied on him as the number one, he has delivered, apart from when he got injured. And he wasn't always injury prone until couple of years ago. Now, we signed him, then we signed, listen to the strikers we've signed whilst he's there. We've had Zlatan, we've had Cavani, we've had Rooney, Rooney was already there. We've also had
Ronaldo,
Lukaku. We've signed lots of strikers when he's there, but then at the end of the day, it's Martial's fault. Like none of these guys came in and blew the roof off, apart from maybe Ibrahimovic or and he's always played either as a he's always had to play the what's the role? Not a second striker, but he's always played from the wing, and so there's a lot of context to it. It's not like we've bought this guy, he's been our number one choice for 9 years and he hasn't performed. Right now, things have happened. He's been injured. Even when he was injured, he was one of our, I think, how many goals did he score last season?
Yeah, I remember last season he had limited minutes, but the goals wise in terms of conversion, it was really good.
He's not just a big hit with the fans. People don't like him, which is cool. And I'm actually quite relieved that he gets to go, because it's one of those things where I just want him to go, and I want to see who gets the blame next, because people will start running out of people to blame. They blame Pogba. Pogba's gone. Lingard's gone.
Well, it's Rashford now. It's Rashford at the minute.
Yeah, so we'll see who else. Yeah, so who's going to be the next person to burn at the stake, But, so, because I really like him, I really can't wait for him to just go, this whole saga to be over. We can forget about it and move on. And, but, it's a combination of just injuries, players in, the managers we've had have not been actually, I mean, this is the first time, last season was the first time that we actually had a manager with promise, and he's kind of just thrown it away now. So I'd like to see him on hopefully he goes to a good team with a good manager, and then people like us can then enjoy, watching him play again. So
yeah. I always say that about players, if they go on and have a great career, like, buzzing for him, because United's one of those places, sometimes it just swallows some of the best players up, and it's been like that for a long time now. I heard someone make a point yesterday, actually, Sam, about a really good point that 5 years ago we was looking at our front three with Rashford, Mason, Martial, or 4 years ago, whatever it was, and you look at that now, and you're like, it's crazy, innit? Because we're all sat there saying these three together for the next 5 years could be some fucking world beaters. When they matched that record with like Liverpool, Mane, Firmino, and Finger, and it's just gone to shit, hasn't it?
Well, what did we do? We tinkered with it. We went and bought fucking Ronaldo and brought Jadon Sancho and just fucked the whole thing up.
Well, like
so
Ronaldo wasn't even Ollie's pick. Like, he was just given Ronaldo. Like, he didn't want him. Yeah. Like, he didn't go.
I came out recently, right?
Yeah, they just he was going to City, and then he rang Rio and basically was like, United don't want me. But apparently Ronaldo's agent didn't even speak to United and told Ronaldo, oh yeah, United don't want you, because he just wanted him to get into City. So Rio rang Ed Woodward, and then the deal happened, and then they basically told Ollie once he was signed, it was, oh, by the way, Ronaldo's been signed, he's now part of the squad, and Ollie's just like, well, the fuck up. Like, I didn't ask for it, like, so.
We fucked it up. Like we had something going on there, and instead of us to nurture it, we just kind of, So it's really not none of their faults, to be honest. Well, this is how I see it.
Greenwood's, I think it is.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
The other two,
on the pitch matters.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But no, I agree with some of Chivy's points to an extent. Like, I think he has been unfairly treated at times, and he has been pushed out of the number 9 position quite a lot to accommodate, like you said, Cavani, Ronaldo, whoever like you want to chuck in there. Yeah, exactly. Like, I think that is true to an extent, and then you've also got to look at, he's not exactly been in the most stable environment, has it? It's just been manager after manager after manager, constant philosophy changes, style of play changes, and then you've got probably one of the worst structures above in terms of transfers and the way they're running the club above them as well. Just all this constant thing. And then on top of that, his injury record is appalling. So it's just like, you couple all that together, are you really surprised he didn't really work out at United? Like, there's a lot of shit to sort of deal with. And I'm sure there's some blame on his side where his attitude's not been right, or he's not tried as much as he could. I'm sure that's the case as well. But all that, you got to take all that stuff into account, and he probably should have left a few years ago, like, for his own sake, just so his career could be better than it is right now. He probably should have left a couple of years ago. He should have seen the writing on the wall and gone, this shit's not getting better. I need to go. So I do feel for him at some point, but also he does have to accept some sort of responsibility as well. Yeah. But again, the club is at fault just as much as he is here, because you've got a talented player and you ran him into the ground. Like Chivy said, you had this front three who were extremely talented, were working, and then you just decided to sign the big money buying Ronaldo and just sort of cock it all up. And this is what happens, and we're suffering the sort of results of it right now.
I think there was a couple of extensions in like 2019-20. I think De Gea got one, Martial got one. There was a couple that were questionable at the time, and I think it was.
Didn't Phil Jones get one?
Yeah, there was a few when you just like, this is where sometimes you need to have a look at, and I think that's exactly what Ineos are going to do. I think they're going to look at the contracts this summer, the amount of money, because obviously Martial, along with a load of other people, is on about 250 grand a week. So they will want to get that off, and I think they'll probably be happy for him to just leave as a free agent anyway, and get his wages off the books. Likewise with Rafael Varane, and maybe a couple of others, and kind of go about it like that. So yeah, it's interesting one with Martial. Just a last bit of transfer news. There's been an update with Facundo Pellistri. He's being lined up for a loan move to PSV Eindhoven. Is he good enough, Chive? From what you've seen, do you think he has it to succeed at United in the future?
Close your ears, Shreyas.
Yeah.
At United? Oh, probably not, man. Probably
not seen enough.
Probably not, to be honest. And it's not fair on him either, because he's like a really good prospect. He's well respected in Uruguay. He's got a trajectory going on, but I honestly don't think it's at United. And this is no shade on him as a player, because I actually like what he brings to the club. But I think if we're trying to actually become Man United, like the Man United that we need to be, we can't be messing about with players like Pellistri, to be honest. To me, I mean, we can't. We need better quality. He's not going to play for Arsenal, City, Liverpool, none of them. He probably wouldn't even play for Newcastle.
What's his level, do you believe? Like, where is it? One of those, you're like Januzaj when he came through, and these kind of kids. I know there was a lot of fucking hype around Januzaj, but I'm talking about the ones that kind of tail off into the Spanish league and they have flares. You know what I mean? Like that kind of player.
Yeah. I think Januzaj could have actually had a future with us, because he had the ability, and if we had really good coaching, we could actually have coached him well enough. I think Pellistri would be good at PSV. One of them,
just a step below, a couple of steps below.
Yeah, like Sociedad. He might actually play decent, like for Sociedad or something. At Man United, I don't see it.
Yeah,
I really don't see it. No.
It's a weird one, that right spot, in it, Sam, because you have 150 million quid worth of talent who just for different reasons aren't on, performing on the pitch. Then you've got the whole situation with Ahmad, who's only just come back, but his cameo looked pretty promising. And then it's Pellistri, who Ten Hag just doesn't seem to rate him at all, does he?
No, like he's had cameos. He had those 2 starts, didn't he, last season? Real Betis.
I remember.
And then the Premier League game that we had after it.
Even this season as well, he's had a bit of a run. Like he's a couple of games, I'm pretty sure.
The last season was the one I particularly remember. Because at Betis, he was really good away. Like at Betis, he was very good, and it was like maybe this is it. Maybe he's gonna kick on here. I think like Chivy said, he's probably a step below what we need. Like, doesn't mean he's a bad player. Doesn't mean he shouldn't be anywhere near a Premier League team. But I just think for United, the United standard should be like the top echelon of players. Like, you should be looking at the cream of the crop players, and that's where you need to be aiming. Like, Donny van de Beek obviously wasn't that player, and he's now gone to Frankfurt, and he'll probably do really well at Frankfurt and be a very good player. But Frankfurt isn't the level of Manchester United. No offense to Frankfurt fans. I
don't know this year, Sam. It's pretty fucking close.
This season, in terms of Man United as an entity, like, and Pellistri could probably go to like Villarreal or an Ajax or someone like that, and he'd play really well and have a great career. And I hope he does because, I think he lacks something. I think he has qualities that I like in a winger, but then he lacks in other qualities. And I think you need a more well-rounded player. And let's be honest, that right-hand side, we would take anybody right now. Just somebody who could do something, because it's been so dead for so long. And then we've just dropped 85 million and 70 million on 2 right wingers who just haven't worked. So we'd kill for anybody right now. And it looks like Garnacho has nailed that right-hand side down for me. Like
I like Garnacho on the right
to sort of nail that down. And if you've got Ahmad there, you've still got Anthony. Pellistri's probably the odd man out there, isn't he? He's probably not going to get much game time, so maybe it's.
If I'm in Ineos, I'm looking at that right now, and I know I keep mentioning him, but I'm trying to think like 6 months down the line. They're probably looking at Ahmad, Garnacho, Højlund, these young kids, and I think if we can get some seasoned kind of sprinkles alongside them, these can really nurture and grow and be top talents. I just don't get that feeling with Pellistri. I don't know what it is. It's just.
I feel like it'd serve him a lot better if he went back to South America, because I also feel it's a stylistic thing as well with the Prem. And I think he might be so much better there. Maybe if he went to like a River Plate or I don't know, went back to Uruguay, and because he's like really highly rated there.
It's a physical league, isn't it? The Prem. It's a very physical league, and he's not.
Yeah, and just ideology as well. Like the idea, like the ball. I know Prem has evolved recently, but then the ball is always in the air. It's different from like South America, where it's literally on the ground all the time. It's a cultural thing as well, with the way they approach their football, and I think he kind of just suits in there. Sometimes you don't even need to. You just do. When you're in a comfortable environment, if that makes any sense, you don't really. You don't have to overthink it.
It's the flow state, isn't it?
Yeah, you just do, and it's one of those things where I think if he was maybe in Spain or just somewhere similar to what he's used to, I think because he plays really well with the national team as well, so it's one of them ones where I think it's just the Prem just probably is not the right.
Too much for him. Yeah, I think NT makes a great point in the chat. At the moment, no, we aren't in a position to wait for him or give him enough game time. We should do, but we've messed up his position too much. For this season, at least, we still need to find someone to start on the right next season. I like the look of Garnacho on the right-hand side. I really, really do. And he can nail down that spot with his age profile at the minute.
The idea of Garnacho and Ahmad on that right-hand side, like, please, just for 6 months, right? For the rest of the season or whatever it is, however long it is, let's just do that. Just give.
You know why? Because Anthony's been so poor in it for so long, and we've been sick and tired of just watching the same performances and the same things, the same behaviour patterns and everything. And then Ahmad comes in for 15 minutes and just changes it up straight away.
And then when you put like Rashford on the right, and he just doesn't look interested. Like he's just not interested at all.
It's life in it. It's literally life or death on that right hand side. You play Rashford there, you play Anthony there. It's completely dead. You bring one of these youngsters on there, spark, excitement, movement. Like
they literally just drag players with them. Like every time, like, when you see Ahmad, like the I think it was like I think after 5 minutes after he came on, there was a move that he did, and he literally just took the ball he literally just took 2 players with him into the middle. And I don't remember who was playing right back then, but like they'll be like, yes, thank God, because Anthony is like, it's so easy, just be like, yeah, just leave him. You can't take it. Mate, he can't even outrun what's the Arsenal midfielder's name? The guy who chased him and caught up with him, Thomas Partey. He can't even outrun players, so it's crazy. Yeah. But yeah, just give that right hand to Anthony and sorry, not Anthony. Jesus.
Oh, careful.
What was I saying?
Ahmad
and Garnacho. And I wouldn't even mind playing Anthony on the left hand side because at least he can cross.
He's gonna put a fucking ball in, innit?
Yeah, just cross the thing.
But then all they'll do, they'll just put him on his right foot. They'll just show him on the inside, and he's gonna do nothing there, is he? Because he can't. I don't think I've ever seen him have a shot off his right foot, to be honest.
There was a moment in a game recently where he cut in, and then he had to cut back onto his right, and you think, right, he's going to win it with his right. And he's like, nah. And he went and turned and came back round to come onto his left. And you're like, I can't believe what I've just seen. I cannot believe what I've just seen. Like, I'm right-footed. Like, I'm quite right-footed. But if I get an opportunity on my left, I'm fucking hitting it. Like, I don't care. Like, if it's not my better foot, I'm hitting it if it's a better opportunity. It was so bizarre to watch. It
must be really, really bad if he doesn't use it that much. Like, it's got to be awful.
We don't know because we've never seen it.
That's what I mean. Like,
do you remember? Because it was like he was in the middle, and he was just like there, like come on, like just curl it, and he literally just went on his left foot, and it looked mad
awkward. Yeah, he was like trying to reach his foot round.
Yeah, mate, £85 million, you know. £85 million. Wow. Right, what we're going to end with, just a quick fire. Best 3 purchases in the transfer window and worst 3 in your opinion. Chave, go.
Of all time, like, or recent memory.
For United.
For United,
yeah.
Best 3.
Top 3 transfers.
Top 3. You know that's difficult. Like.
Okay, well let's do recent if you want to do that.
Recent
instead.
So,
past 10 years, who's our best 3 signings?
Let me just go off the top, right? And this is probably more than 10 years, but I would say Marco Carrick for 16 million was
a good one.
That's a very good shout.
Was really, because I remember that time I was absolutely livid. I was like, who the fuck is Carrick? What the fuck are we doing? And that was our only buy as well.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was mad. What are we doing? And then the first game we played Fulham, Ronaldo scored and Carrick was just like a fucking. This is the guy when you say Rolls Royce football.
Yeah, underrated to fuck. Really was.
God. And I fell in love with him since then.
How was he not getting more England caps? By the way, like he should have been in that. He should have been in integral part of that England team, man.
Like, Gerrard and thingy, yeah. So I'll go Carrick for 16. Who else? I don't want to go Bruno because that's the obvious one. How much did we pay for Bruno?
50.
Yeah.
50.
There or thereabouts. I don't know that kind of fucking bullshit.
I can't think. Okay, let me go something recent. Ericsson for free.
That's shrewd. Very shrewd signing.
Very shrewd signing. My kind of signing. And finally, give me some clues. Give me some.
Put you on the spot there. Well, it depends what you're looking for, like a defender, midfielder, attacker. If you have to clear through a lot of shit, don't forget. For 10 years we've bought players. There's a lot of shit there. There's a striker who came in who did a pretty fucking good job in Zlatan. Fantastic signing.
How much was that? Was that free as well?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah. on a free for a couple of years, but his knees fucked him up, didn't it?
ACL.
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Bad knee problems. But won trophies, scored important goals in finals and stuff. So he's definitely in the conversation, in my opinion.
How much did we pay for the twins? I'll go with the twins.
Right,
Fabio
Fabio.
I think it weren't that much, was it? It
Like
must have been
30,
like 8 mil, 8 to
Something like that, yeah.
30.
yeah, I think.
Is it
Yeah,
30?
I'll go the twins. I'll go the twins just for nostalgia purposes.
Yeah.
But yeah, they turned out to be quite good as well. So yeah.
Sam, give me your top 3, and then we'll do worst 3.
I'm just gonna go whatever. So, Roy Keane from Forest. Like,
Okay.
You can't. Don't tell me that
a
is
mil.
one of the most important
That
buys.
wasn't that it was worth it though, but I
Yeah.
think that was transfer record.
At the time.
£1 million at the time, yeah,
Yeah.
from Forest.
1.3, I think. Something like
Yeah.
that. It was worth it. It was worth
Yeah.
it.
Vidic, January buy, proves it works. Like, that guy changed. And it didn't work. At
value in January.
the first couple of games, he looked shocking, man. Did not look good. The first couple of games, you're like, I don't know about this dude
The
from
first
Serbia,
6
man.
months, arguably, he
Yeah.
struggled a bit, didn't he?
And you're like, I
You know
don't
what's
know.
funny about Vidic was, the internet wasn't really like popping
Yeah.
then, right? So I had no idea. So when they were coming out the tunnel, I was like, who's this guy? And I was like, because they were coming out the tunnel, I was like, I could see because you could see all the players. I was like, real, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, I was like, who is this? This guy looks, they're like, oh yeah, maybe that's the guy we just bought. This is me thinking that. And so the first couple of games, he was not, and then after like a month, it was like, okay, this guy's here.
Yeah, absolute warrior of like a player, man. Like one of my favorite players of all time. So I'd definitely play it. And I'll try and pick a more modern one.
Yeah.
But it's quite tough post Fergie. Like there's a lot of shite post Fergie. Oh God, who do you pick?
Jesus Christ. That's just an indication of how shit we've been.
Yeah.
Like, and if you think about all the players we've had, and we can't even.
NT's put in the chat David Bellion, Donny van der Beek, and Bebe top 3.
I'll have to go Fergie time because I can't post Fergie. It's too difficult. Let's go Van der Sar because
Say Van Persie.
Fantastic.
Van Persie you put in there as well if you want. Van der Sar because after Peter Schmeichel we just went through these keepers like they were going out of fashion. Just Barthez, Bosnich, Taibbi,
Roy Carroll,
Tim Howard.
Mushak.
And he was like,
Howard.
like, just what are we doing here? And then we got Van der Sar, and everything just went. You know when like there's a storm going on in the sea, and then the water's part, it just calms. You're like, oh, this is what it's like. So much better.
I think that was like Roy Carroll's like best period ever because he was just like number 2.
He's just like chilling. I'm chilling, mate. But yeah, there you go. There's 3. There's top 3.
Do you want a little bit out there? Well, not out there because he was a top player, but Berbatov, I loved when that golden boot winning season. The goals at Liverpool, like he's just different kind of player than the usual. I don't think it's surviving today's climate, to be honest with you, but I think top player Berbatov.
I like his story as well.
Those are the days. Sorry, go on.
I like his story. He said on Rio, apparently City were in for him at the same time when United bought him. And he went, United in for us. Tell City to fuck off. I'm going to I was like, I like that.
Those were the days when we used to just buy one player.
Yeah.
In the summer. So like, I would just get one just to supplement, just to add to the team. Like, we're so complete then. And he was the only one we bought that season then. Yeah.
The other 2 I would throw in there. This is so obvious one, but I genuinely, you can ask anyone this. I had used to get match mags, and I had a poster of Ronaldo at Sporting Lisbon when he was a young kid with a noodle haircut on my wall. And when he signed from Sporting, I was like, this is fucking exciting. I can't wait to see him. And then on the right, because when I play football, I'm a very tricky kid anyway. Like, I'm quite good with my feet. So when I watched him on the right-hand side in his first, was it Bolton, his debut? I can't remember who he played. Yeah, and he was just like doing all this. I was, I couldn't even care if he lost the ball. I was just like, this is my kind of player. So that'll always stick with me. And then something like a Park Ji-sung or something, I think. Because it's one of them that, like when it comes out the woodwork and people at the time are like, not sure. But the job that he did in certain games was like, I think Fergie famously said, we should have played him against Messi when we lost in the final against Barcelona, because if we would have done that,
he played after that as well. He played every single big game, like any semi-final, final, or like a big thing. He played, like, no matter what, he played.
Yeah.
Right. To finish off, worst 3. So I'm not saying like Bebe, and I'm just saying like maybe price-wise or expectation. What hurt you the most when we've bought a player and you're like, just didn't work out?
We're putting on Alexis Sanchez there, aren't we? Like, he has to be on there.
Expectation, I mean, you're definitely up there. It's the worst, probably our worst signing, in my opinion.
The wages, the money, all of it. Just the announcement video as well, the fact that they did that video. Like,
the expectation, definitely.
All of it together was fucking abysmal.
And the fact, what he said as well, when he was like, I can tell the first day in training that I weren't going to like it and all this kind of shit. You're on £500,000 a week. Do you understand that? Like, crazy.
I chuck Di Maria in there as well, because I was so excited for this guy, and I was like, this dude's going to be absolute. And we saw that Leicester game with the chip. I was like, this dude's going to be a mate, and it just into the toilet.
Any outside the ones there that were like maybe a personal favourite to yourself, who you thought when they signed, this guy's going to be the shit? I'm not talking about, like, you know, I don't know, an Anthony or a Maguire, but just a little bit subtle.
I'll have my last one, and then Chivy can talk about his 3. Shinji Kagawa.
Yeah.
I'm still annoyed about Shinji Kagawa. I watched this guy at Dortmund. I thought he was going to be absolute baller, one of the best players in the Bundesliga, and he came to United, and he wasn't shite, and he wasn't awful, and it's not like he didn't try. It just didn't work. Like, it just wasn't there.
You wanted more in it.
Whatever it was in Dortmund, it just didn't happen, and I was so sad because I thought, this is going to be the dude, like, this guy's going to be amazing, and it just didn't work.
Yeah, because we didn't really need him like that. Like,
No.
Same with Mata though, right? Mata was the same. Like, we brought him in and we played him on the right. And you're like, this guy was the player of the season for Chelsea as a 10, and you play him on the right wing. Like,
who's that?
Mata.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we didn't really need Kagawa as such, like, when we got him, because I mean, we're kind of complete, and for some reason, Fergie just played cleverly all the time.
Yeah, so stupid.
Yeah, I don't know why, but yeah, that would be a disappointing one. Alexis Sanchez. I'd also go Cavani. No, sorry, not Cavani. What's the other guy? Falcao.
Oh, Falcao, man. Falcao.
What was his name? He had a nickname when he was in fucking, because he was killing it at Porto, wasn't he?
El Nino?
Something like that. I can't remember what it was. He was killing it at Porto, and then Atleti bought him, didn't they?
Yeah.
He killed it there, and was just like that proper striker you want, that bit of bite to him.
Knee injury, ACL, and that was it. He was never the same after that.
He came in injured. Condos, man.
Yeah.
Condos came in injured, and just didn't. And it really, really hurt, because I was there for the debut, for all their debuts, for him, Herrera, Daley Blind. We played QPR, and that was Rio Ferdinand's like testimonial, sort of. So like when Ferdinand came back to Old Trafford, and I was there, we smashed them 4-0, and then Falcao comes on. I'm going crazy. It's like, he's gonna come on, and then he had this shot, the keeper saved it, and I was like, "Ooh, this is the start." Like,
never happened. Never.
No.
How many goals did he score? Was it like 4? 4 goals?
Not even 4. Yeah, I think it was less.
2 or 3, I think.
Minimum.
Yeah. So Falcao probably would be one of my. Yeah, I think one of the ones I really, really like was disappointing.
In terms of preference, someone's mentioned there, Charlie Malman just said it. Cavani was amazing when he was playing the work rate. Also, there's a clip of Ronaldo giving him on the ball. Cavani comes charging and keeps the ball in play. Yeah, I think that first season, Cavani, I think we can all agree, he was like, he just give you that, what a fan like craves from a player. He fucking provided that. And I remember when he was out for a bit, he came back and he did that chip, didn't he, over the keeper?
Yeah.
unbelievable. He's chanting everything. Give it.
Can you imagine if we got Cavani in his prime? Like,
he's just a guy.
He'd have a statue. He'd have a statue, man. He'd have a fucking statue outside Old Trafford.
Yeah. I know Van Nistelrooy is like my favorite striker, like personal favorite. But if I had to bring back one striker, like a number 9, to play in this team now, would be Edison Cavani, because I don't know anyone's movement better than that guy. Like his movement was
pure striker. When you talk about instincts, killer instincts, everything you need. The Southampton goal in particular, when we was 2-0 down, weren't we? And he came on, and I think he scored 2. One of them was a headed from like a Bruno shot. That is instincts. You can't teach that shit. Like that. Oh, I loved him. That first season, amazing.
Very quickly. There was a goal against Everton that he scored, and it looked like just a very basic goal. But if you watch the replay, it's his movement. So he's staying online with the defender, and then he kind of, instead of running forward when Bruno has the ball, he runs towards the guy and then cuts in. And that is just elite number 9 sort of football. Yeah, Cavani was amazing, man. He could have been something.
I was going to say the good old days, but even then we were shit. But it was a nice glimmer in a pile of shit, I suppose. Right, I'm going to end on these comments. Dean Lewis says Andy Cole was great, fantastic shout. NT saying Ibra at 28-30 United would have been nuts too. Di Maria, Falcao.
Who are your
Pogba,
worst,
Sancho, Sanchez.
Who are your
Worst. In terms of expectations. Oh God, I don't know. I think we've mentioned a couple of them already. Jadon's a big one for me because when I watched him at Dortmund, he was sensational. He was unbelievable, and I thought we were signing a proper prodigy when he came. He still can be that. He can still. I'm not saying he's completely, but that was a little bit gutting for me. Disappointing. I was gutted. I'm not saying he was a bad signing, but I was gutted with Louis Saha because I thought he had the potential to be nuts.
Again, injury prone.
Unbelievable.
Fergie was just being greedy.
So that's what I'm saying at the time. It's like these players come and go, and you're like, you know what I mean? Fergie
was just being greedy. Like we just had the 2 top scorers in the league. We've got Van Nistelrooy and then we got Saha, and then Arsenal could keep Henry, and then So it's just like it's just greed.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there any other? I think I'll leave it at that. I can't think of any others off the top of my head, and I don't need to be sat here fucking forever. So, I think that is a good place to lead it. Make sure you guys leave a like. I can't even speak now. My brain's fucking up. Make sure you leave a like on the video for us. Subscribe to the channel, and we will see you tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Don't work too hard. In a bit.